Perfect. Oh, we're live.
Hey everybody, RT Bear here, 30-year vet in this wacky comic book industry that we know and love, and we are going to talk for the next hour about black and white, and only black and white. Well, we can talk about other things, but mainly black and white. And so we have a Q&A set up. So we took some questions last night, so we have some of those prepared. But what we would really like is for you guys to live ask questions. So if there's any questions that you've ever thought to ask me, or about black and white, or Taylor, or any of the other creative people, we may even have Pamela in here, who's the original co-writer on the series, to answer questions. So let me introduce my co-host and partner in crime, Taylor Grosso.
Hey, you guys. I'll be reading your chat as always. If you have questions for us, don't hold back. We're doing this live so we can get your feedback directly and have you join the conversation. And if you, like Art said, if you have a question for Pamela, we'll call her down, and I'm sure that she will not mind.
Yeah, she's on call right now, so we're just yell at her and she'll come downstairs and talk to y'all. So yeah, I just thought this would be fun, and if there's any questions too about the IndieGoGo, any of the tiers, any of the stretch goals, shipping, you know, any questions at all that you guys have, not just creative ones, but like I said about the IndieGoGo campaign and things like that as well. And we're gonna have a big announcement on this chat, and we are also going to do a major preview of the book and what the remastering is all about. So I'm not even sure how we should really start this, Taylor. How should we start this?
Well, today marks 10 days left in the campaign. So if you're holding back from backing, waiting for payday, please do so soon. I don't know if you guys have just been watching. Art was just on Mike's channel. We talked a little bit about it last night and on the last couple of videos. But we're kind of at a standstill debate right now as to whether or not we're going to do the in-demand store. But as of right now, we're probably thinking we're not. And the only place to get this book is on IndieGoGo. So please don't hold back. Don't let your friends miss out on getting this book. And let's get right into it.
Yeah, this book is a labor of love. We've put so much time and effort into this, and this is a 25-year dream for me, to bring it back into the light and getting in front of viewers and fans. So this has been, I mean, everything that we're doing right now has just been to plus this book. All the stretch goals is to try to get more money to where we can put that back into the book, make it a better book. And so we're going to illustrate a little bit about what the remastering is and what that's all about as well. So there was something else that you said that I was going to add. Oh, it was about the end date. So we have 10 days left, right, Taylor?
10 days. I believe it ends Sunday?
Midnight, Sunday?
At midnight, yes.
Something like that. So we have a limited amount of time, and we keep going back and forth on this, but at this point, we're in favor of ending it at that date and not going into a store, into an in-demand store. Just the debate is more to keep it about the campaign and less about the store. But like I said, we're kind of in debate right now. But the way it stands right now, once the campaign ends, it's going to end. So where do we have people in the chat? Should we wait for more people?
Yeah, we got a question. Not to shotgun a question, but what would change your mind on doing a store? I'm going to talk to a comic shop tonight. Oh, I guess you're talking about a physical store.
We're not opposed to anything, but my wife, and she's very, very, I don't know, she can be very, very convincing. She was thinking the special aspects of these campaigns are that there's an actual deadline. There's an end to these things. And so when you rally, when you end it, it feels like an event. It feels important. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes when you roll them into an in-demand, that they feel less special. So that's kind of the strong argument for not going into the store or into demand right now. And as far as going into a store, if you know somebody that has distribution and stuff and things like that, we can talk. So please, private message me or contact me. How's the best way?
The best way I would say to contact Art is through the website, artbytbear.com. There's a contact sheet through there. So yeah, if you have any connections to a store, definitely hit us up and we can continue the conversation privately.
Yeah, we're not opposed to it. But at this point, just as far as the IndieGoGo campaign proper, we're looking at kind of an end. So we're getting questions now.
Yeah, we're getting a little questions. We have a question for Pamela, but we might want to hold it unless
you want to yell?
Here. Hey, Pamela.
Pamela! What? We have a question. Get down here.
One of the original writers of the series, Pamela, is entering the room.
And also my beautiful, talented wife. We have woohoo! We have a wife for you. We have a question for you,
okay.
And a wife for them.
The chat would like to know, Pamela, when updating the dialogue, was there anything that you couldn't believe you said 24 years ago?
Yeah. Art and I were so into the campy movies and things, and we found in reading over this again that our dialogue was just like straight out of some of the movies that we loved. And now we're like, really? Did we say that?
I still love this line, and I think it's in Chrono Mechanics as well. It's like, I think when Reed and Whitney finally become black and white, Taylor can back me up because she's got a better memory than when we're re-dialoguing it. I think the original dialogue, Pamela, was "We rock" or "Let's rock."
Oh yeah, that's right.
While they're leaping down, it's the big double-page spread. It's
kick
like
some butts
and kick some butt, and it's like that's right out of the '90s.
Yeah, didn't we use "locked and loaded" too?
Yeah, we're locked and loaded. Yeah. Let's rock. Yeah. Any other cliche? Well, it's cliche now, but in the '90s it wasn't. It was cool. Yeah, it was cool and fun.
And actually, rereading it, some of it is still just fun.
Yeah. So I'm sure some of the updated dialogue in 25 years, people will look back and go, "Oh my gosh, they said that."
There is some stuff though, like when we were all rewriting the script, there is stuff we kind of tried to keep intact though, because they kind of became character beats, I feel like, in a way. And like reading the first one for the first time, I remember the reason I fell in love with Whitney is because she's kind of hilarious and really arrogant, and she constantly talks about how awesome she is while also like pointing out flaws. Like there's a scene where, spoiler alert, there's a scene in the original anyway where she drives a motorcycle through a window and she's like, "I'm awesome," but then after she goes, "Oh no, I missed the window. I didn't mean to drive through." Like, and it's pretty hilarious.
And then she's oh god, what is this? Some of it where she's Reed just saves her, and then he gets in harm's way. And then she just ditches him and says, "You got yourself in, you can get yourself out." And he's just left there battling all these guards and everything. It's like, geez, man, I could use a little help here.
Partners.
Yeah.
Primark says about the shop option of In Demand, "I would leave the store open for at least a few days. There's a lot of people that only back projects after they've been successfully funded." Yeah,
that's not a bad idea. So if you guys want to pro and con that, I would love to hear your input, because like I said, we're kind of torn between the three of us now, how we feel about the in-demand store. So maybe we can get some feedback on that as well.
Yeah, we've been back and forthing, and I think it was Pamela that pointed out that the overseas people might have trouble getting the book at the last minute, because IndieGoGo, it's kind of strange. When you set your end date, it always ends at midnight. So people overseas and stuff with the big time differences might not really be clued in to when the actual campaign ends. So that's something that we're considering.
Yeah, there's a lot of details to it all at this point. So do we have another question, or should we get on with the razzle dazzle?
Why don't you talk about this piece a little bit? I picked it because Art was busy on Mike's channel, so I picked this because of the Halloween spirit.
Do you remember this, Pamela?
Oh yes, I love this was for the ongoing.
Yeah.
And I loved, I just, that storyline is to me just interesting. It's just
Yeah, it's really cool.
The thing
love it.
about black and white was that I always kind of looked at it as kind of the Batman animated or the first Batman movie where it was a time, or even Star Wars, where it's a time, but it's not really defined as like a specific time. Like it's not exactly 1994 or 2018 or whatever. It was just kind of an imaginary time. So one of the things that we were saying in the black and white universe is that big science, like robotics and science exists, but at the same time supernatural exists. And so one of the things of the ongoing, right, Pamela, like the villain was almost all supernatural based, right?
Oh yeah, Juju she was a Vadun priestess.
And so she could raise the dead. And so
Right.
one of the things is that we thought would be interesting, and I haven't seen anybody really do this yet, and if they do, I'm gonna sue them.
Copyright right now.
Copyright TM RT Bear.
You heard it here first.
Black and white. Is that Juju she is a Vol'dun priestess, so she can raise the dead and all that stuff, but she's tech. She uses tech to raise the dead. So it's kind of like
Techno priestess.
Yeah, it's like techno
Technomancer?
Yeah, kind of stuff. So she uses devices that she plants in the ground like spikes. And so then she puts those in the ground like whoever she's trying to raise. And so through the tech that's in the spike and stuff, she uses her powers, her abilities. So she uses those to channel directly to the dead.
Reanimate the
to
dead.
reanimate the dead, yeah. And so, oh gosh, how much should we get into?
Well, there's a question that kind of plays in from last
okay.
night. And since you said it's kind of a different world, is people wanted to know if black and white is set in the future, which you kind of answered.
Well, I'll let you answer the 2018.
So the way we kind of wrote this and the way the world is in black and white, it is like a future kind of sci-fi setting, almost like a dystopian sort of Blade Runner-y setting. There's robots that are in people's daily lives, and tech is definitely more advanced. But I don't know if you would say it's like set in this reality that we're in right now. It's kind of its own world set in the future, like an alternate future, I would say.
Yeah, I like that idea just because then we're not held or beholden to our world. Like we can use our imaginations and we can build this to be anything we want it to be. So there isn't the restraints of reality, I guess. So we can have more fun with it. And when Pamela and I came up with this 25 years ago, that's what it was all about. It was just about the fun, action, adventure stuff. And I don't know if you guys know who Jaime Mendoza is, but he was a protege, and also he worked at Hack Shack Studios with me when we brought Hack Shack Studios back after the Image days. And so he inked a lot of the ongoing black and white stuff so I could have more time to pencil and write.
Yes, just to be clear, what you're seeing right now, this is from the ongoing. And did this one ever get published? I think this piece of artwork was in the back of the ongoing, the first issue. I think we have it.
Well, Pamela, answer.
Truthfully, I don't remember the pages.
Get in here. They can't hear you.
Oh, I'm looking in the first issue of the ongoing.
Yeah, I believe it's in the back.
It's an ad for the next issue.
But
it's like the last page. But I think it was in the Diamond Solicitation catalog as well.
That might have
There
been
it
there. Oh yeah, let's hold this in front of the screen. This
Okay.
is the ad in the back.
See if you can see that.
It's a little dark, but this is where it was published.
Coming next month. Yeah, so we had a plan. This was issue 1, and the ongoing was called Codename Black and White. And then the market crashed. So what do we have queued up next, Taylor?
I believe we have fan art or a fan letter. Let me see. Okay, yeah. So we got this fan letter, and I believe I have his actual fan art. I don't know which one he is. I'll read it. I'm weird, and that results in creativity. He opens with a quote. I thought it was kind of cool. He did this very formally, and this was back in 1995.
And that's Sean Ryan. So, Sean, if you're listening,
hit us up. Support the new campaign. Dear Art and Pamela, I want to thank you again for acting on my request. I picked up Black and White number 3 and was glad to see my name and the others that gave you the letter column submissions. So he was one of the people that suggested there was a letters column contest, and I think he was one of the ones that suggested black and white and red all over.
Okay.
I'm happy to see that yet another Image comic that looks out for the readers and gives them their best. I really enjoyed reading number 3. My only complaint is that I keep having to wait for the ongoing series until this summer. Keep up the remarkable work. I have a suggestion, though. More and faster action. Have stuff going on all over the place and not just focused on the main characters. I don't know about that. I agree with the other fans. More gray. Also, I'm sure many others would love to see a sketchbook art. I'm an aspiring artist myself and have enclosed a piece I did of Reed Blackett. Maybe you could print it in your next issue's letter column. Anyway, thanks what's more. I'm looking forward to this summer. And there was a couple pieces of fan art. I don't know which one is his.
Okay. Well, we'll see if we can get to that.
He was an aspiring artist.
And once again, you guys, don't wait for an opening. Just start asking questions.
And he said,
oh, wait, is there more?
We're out of sequence. Click that arrow on the side.
Okay.
And go ahead and click that third that says unknown.
Third? Okay.
This was the other guys.
I wonder why it didn't go in order.
Please, let's see. There's a lot of tabs open, you guys.
Okay.
He said, please remember the name. I plan on working for Image Comics someday. It'll take a few years, but you guys just wait.
This doesn't look like Ryan's work, though. This looks like somebody else.
No, I have another letter from him.
Okay.
But I think we have a question.
Yeah, we'll interrupt our flow for the questions, you guys.
Art T. Bear, what's the actual story, Black and White? And why isn't it on the IndieGoGo campaign? I don't see it anywhere.
Oh, no. What do you mean you don't see it anywhere? That's not good.
Let me see. Oh, hello, Egbert. We have a story pitch. I thought it was in the IndieGoGo campaign, but now you're making me paranoid. I'm going to have to actually look at it. Do you want to talk about the actual story, or you want me to? I was thinking,
I'm looking for a sheet with the pitch on it, but I can't find it anywhere.
Yeah, we have a designated...
Do you remember any of the pitch?
Pitch sheet. I remember that I think the latest one was it's like when justice and vengeance, the line between justice and vengeance is blurred. An ex-spy and a brewery heiress team up to take down a megalomaniac and his army of robots.
That's it. That was it. Yeah. And then we have a tagline: in a world where law and order is often blurred to gray, justice can only be black and white. So that sets up the morality of the story.
And if you listen to that letter and they said more gray, he was referring, I think, to the character Gray, because there is an actual character.
Yeah, so it's a play on, there's like Reed Blackett, Whitney, White Sung, and then there's Brooks Gray. So we got the black, white, and gray kind of represented. Like I said, this was fun, so it was all good fun. So should I close this tab or just go to the next one?
And see what happens, because they keep going out of order.
Okay. So where
Hit Silk. We'll start from there, and I guess we won't close them. We'll just click through.
Okay.
This was a piece of fan art that I found. I like what they wrote describing Whitney. She's tough as steel, but gentle and sexy like silk.
That's awesome. This looks like one of the panels that I drew.
I think it is. I believe it is one of the panels.
That's very cool. What do you think of that, Pamela?
I like it.
It's cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the one with the leg hiked up.
Yeah. She's all dolled up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little looking back, a little moving forward, so we got some history here.
Okay, so this guy is the one that you saw that he kind of drew in that evil Ernie type style. And
the one where they were kind of embracing each other?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of old school indie comic style. So he said, Dear Art and Pamela, greetings and salutations again. I just wanted to thank you for the autographed posters and the ever tasty image bar. I don't know what that is. It was a pleasant and unexpected surprise. Anyhow, to show you my appreciation and gratitude, I've enclosed my personal rendition of Whitney in black, which is the one we saw.
Oh, okay.
Do with it as you will. And then on the reverse side of this letter is my entry for the Evil Ernie / Lady Death cover contest at Chaos Comics. This Xerox does no justice to the full color version. Tell me what you think and be brutally honest. He wanted a portfolio review from you.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, once again for the cool stuff, and keep up the good work. And he's from Canada. And what's interesting to note is a lot of these letters are from Canada.
They're my people. My people.
I have the piece here if you want to show the Evil Ernie, but this is what he enclosed on the opposite side.
Oh, so it's...
Yeah, he wrote it on the back.
Oh, on the back. Okay.
Xerox. What's that? Says somebody in the chat.
Exactly. Yeah. But that's cool. So it would be awesome if Rob was like still checking stuff out. Like, Rob, send us stuff for the portfolio review, the YouTube portfolio review.
Yes, we want to see how far you've come.
Either that or Rob's working professionally now.
P Money asks, what was the main influence for you to decide to go more independent than mainstream comics?
I started my career in the independents. I worked for Renegade Press. Renegade Press is the Aardvark Vanheim. Oh my gosh, what character is that? A cyberbuck, for anybody who can remember. I forget the book now. It was the Dave Sim book. And
isn't that still going?
Cerebus. Cerebus
There
is the
you
book.
go.
Yeah. And so it was his wife's publishing company. And I was working with Jim Valentino at the time. And I had pitched them a creator-owned idea. And I was working on a lot of creator-owned ideas before I worked in the mainstream at Marvel and DC. So I always liked that indie spirit, and I always liked being able to create something out of my own imagination. I always liked Marvel and DC characters as well, but I just have that part of my personality that just wants to be independent and create my own things. And so a few years back when I met Taylor, she kind of resurrected some of those indie feelings and to do create her own projects and to start moving in this direction. So it started coming back at that point. So I took a big chance, you guys. So please back this book. I actually walked away from DC Comics. We were working, Taylor works as an ink assistant as well. We were working on Super Sons, The Adventures of Super Sons. And we walked away from that so we could dedicate our full attention to Black and White and future projects through IndieGoGo. So if you guys like this, please spread the word and get people interested if you know anybody that likes this kind of content. So let's go to the next. Yeah, and keep the questions coming, guys. Ooh, this one's pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
C. Johnson.
Speaking of mainstream characters and stuff, do you think Black and White, the characters, not the story, would fit better into the Marvel universe or the DC universe if they had to be transported to either?
Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to ask each one of you guys that question. So Pamela, get closer. I'm going to start with you. How would you feel about Black and White showing up? And you can feel free to tell them about the Eddie Braganza thing too, if you can remember that.
Don't.
Well, that'll be my story then.
I do think that Black and White would fit more in the DC line than the Marvel. I don't know. Marvel seems more impersonal to me for some reason. Where DC, the characters are more, I don't know, homey?
Wholesome?
Yeah, wholesome, and you just want to hang out. I'd love to hang out with Superman.
Well, that was the whole Justice League vibe where they had the Hall of Justice. So, they were always more transparent than the Avengers. The Avengers were always more like hidden away and didn't work with governments and heads of state and countries. But the Justice League did, so that's a good observation.
Yeah, so that's why I think
Black and White part of the Justice League, yeah, baby.
All right.
White hanging out with like Black Canary.
Oh, can you imagine the dialogue that would go between those two?
Trading like beauty secrets.
Oh,
She would beat Black Canary. Black Canary's a wimp, kind of. Sorry.
Well, if Whitney felt like that Dana Lance had wronged her, oh my gosh. No vengeance. What is the thing? Woman
Hell
scorned.
hath no fury like a woman scorned.
Yeah, even if it's a woman-on-woman crime.
Title says booster goal to be hitting on her.
Booster Gold's a creep.
What about you, Taylor?
I think DC also, because I'd like to see them in a setting like Gotham.
Ooh.
I think that they'd fit well in a world like that. And I agree with you about the whole Marvel thing, because a lot of the Marvel characters feel very authoritarian, and like a lot of their superheroes feel like they're like condoned by the government, whereas DC feel like they're real vigilantes and that they're doing it like purely for like altruism instead of by some weird organization.
Yeah, that they kind of act independently, but they still work, with teams now and then. But they kind of work independently more, I think.
Yeah, and I like DC's street level superhero world a little bit better than Marvel's in a lot of ways.
I agree. I think the only successful, I haven't read Daredevil in years, but that's the only reason I liked Daredevil when I was young is because he felt very street level and very neighborhood oriented. And I like that. But although that Black and White are international because there is the whole spy angle and stuff like that. So they do have their town or their little world that they live in, Maltese, but they also are very international, much like, James Bond and the whole spy thing. And also she's Chinese, she's half Chinese and he's British. So it already has that kind of international feel.
Whereas if they were in Marvel, they'd all just be in New York for some reason.
Yeah. So for me, I agree with DC and for all the reasons that I've already said. But also, I don't know if Pamela remembers this, but in the day, Eddie Berganza, who was a starting editor at DC Comics, actually approached us.
That's right, he did.
And wanted to bring Black and White into the DC universe. Yeah. And we had written a pitch to DC, and he was trumpeting the whole Black and White thing. I don't remember, it was a long time ago, I don't remember the details of it, but it never happened. But that would have been one of the first, or I don't know if Image ever crossed over with DC. I know they did Marvel.
Yeah, I don't think they did DC. I can't think of any.
Oh, wait. I think Top Cow did with Batman. I think there might have been a Darkness Batman, but that was years and years later.
That's an individual character, too. Like, I don't know.
Right, but this was like, where these two would be part of the DC universe. And I believe that Batman was on the table, which would have been a dream fantasy come true for me. Do you remember that now, Pamela?
Yes, I do. Like you said, the particulars, because I don't remember what I had for lunch yesterday, but I do remember. Yeah, and we were so excited, that DC was even considering our characters.
I believe that's Rob's fan art. P Money said, "I would like to see Black and White meet Green Lanterns." And Title says, with the tech aspect, would they fit better into Metropolis? Superman's more future tech.
Yeah, actually, I think they would fit in multiple ways because they are international, and there is that sci-fi angle to the characters, but they also do work very clandestine and very in the dark and very vigilante like as well. So I think they could probably adapt into most situations. And to be honest, that's one of my favorite parts about these characters, because I believe we can take them anywhere. And with the world that, the templated world that Pamela and I created, we can go supernatural, we can go sci-fi, we can go spy thriller, we can go pure action adventure, we can go romance, we can go comedy. We can go all these different places with these characters.
And that's how a lot of 90s comics used to be. Like, the comic book world was just that you could do anything and tell any kind of story. Whereas now a lot of them are very, they're very rooted in reality. And that's why I think there's a lot of stories that are just like, oh, another thing happens in New York again.
And they're rigid.
Yeah, very rigid, yeah.
It's like, why not? If you're going to tell the story, you might as well play with the full sandbox.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so when we created these characters, we kind of built in that they could go anywhere and do anything. So that's always one of my favorites. I like this yin yang on fire in the background here.
Pretty cool.
And I don't know, some spoiler alerts. We're gonna spoil some things for you guys right now. So the villain actually is kind of Phoenix like, where he rises out of the flames. So I think this yin yang on fire is very apropos, very symbolic. Yeah. I wish I could read the name though.
Yeah, they didn't sign. I couldn't really tell what that was. Something A.
Yeah. So Taylor, if I click out of this, will it just start all over?
Yeah, click the next one just to be safe.
Okay, because we got a lot of tabs here.
Oh, right.
Oh, what the hell is this?
This is a flyer. Like I said, Art this might be a surprise to him because he was busy doing something and I was pulling all these. There's
a phone number there. I don't know.
Yeah, I have the physical flyer. Let me grab it so I can read it. It's for, I think you guys are doing a signing at Tyler Mall at a place called Comics Castle.
Oh, I remember at the Galleria at Tyler, yeah.
And there's two different flyers, and it says comic book signing, meet and talk to the creators and artists creators, artists, and writer of Black and White Saturday, and then it has the info, and then it also says Nathan Lum, the extremely talented colorist, will also be there. And then on the other one, it's where they're speaking, and Whitney says, I hear that Comic Castle is having a comic book signing on Saturday, April 22nd, 12 o'clock noon to 2 p.m. in the mall gallery at Tyler. Didn't Art work on other comics? And,
hint, hint. Maybe you could buy some more of the back issues.
Because Reed says, yeah, our creators, Art and Pam, and it's weird it says Pam, not Pamela, are going to be there to talk to the fans and sign comics. And it says, didn't Art work on other comics? And Reed says, yes, the X-Men titles, to name just one. And Whitney says, who else is going to be there? Nathan Lum, an extremely talented colorist who's worked on Rob Liefeld's War Child, Team Youngblood, and others. And then Whitney says, sounds like my kind of fun. Only question is, you think the fans will show? Reed says, they had better, or I'll blast them off the face of the earth.
Wow.
That's really out of character.
just for the record, guys, we didn't write this dialogue.
That's true.
That doesn't sound like your guys' take on the character.
I don't think Reed would blast you guys.
But it's true. I remember that. They were at when you go in the escalator at Tyler Mall and you go up, they were right there. I think it's
that big shop on the right-hand side. Yeah.
I think
That's so cool.
A Verizon or something now. But
we had a line outside and down the escalator, guys. The 90s were amazing.
And it went also from there. It used to be the Broadway. Now it's Macy's. But it went clear into the Broadway store, and Broadway was not happy.
Yeah, we had a lot of mall security around us that day.
They're like, man, we got a good turnout. Oh wait.
My favorite thing is that
it still has
this is, just for the record, you guys, this is on the original artwork. So this is how we know, what it is. And I don't know why there's a price. It's like $195. I guess that's the cover price, maybe?
Wait, is it? I don't know. That's kind of weird.
It looks like it's a dollar amount.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
what that is.
it looks like it might be different writing. So I don't remember.
The people at Comics Castle needed a little art direction. No offense, Comics Castle.
No, it was good times. Do you remember that, Pamela?
Oh, yes, I do. It was so fun. It was awesome. The people that come up, and they were so excited, and they made Art and me feel like we were family.
Yeah.
Because they just were so into these characters, and it was heartwarming. And it's still, I'm tearing up now.
She is, guys.
Thinking about how phenomenal everyone that read this book, it felt good.
Yeah, it was really, really heartwarming and overwhelming. Obviously, you can tell my wife is overwhelmed right now. So that's what these things mean to us, guys. I mean, these things really are emotionally charged because these aren't just, us doing stock characters that we, like say Batman or Spider-Man. These are characters that we created. These are like extensions of us. These are our personalities. These are our blood, our sweat, and our tears. And that's what goes into these independent projects. And that's why they're so special. And that's why the fan base is so important, because if these things if they're not embraced by you guys, then they just simply won't exist. Because we don't have Time Warner, deep pockets. Whether DC makes a profit or not, Time Warner's is still going to keep them around for licensing and things like that. And we don't have the Disney Marvel, money and clout either. So it really is just us. So when you think about that, or when you're on the fence about that, think about that, those things as well.
Yeah, we're a small team kind of putting this book together just purely out of love. And you guys are kind of a part of that team too.
A big part.
Making this happen. And yeah, we couldn't do it without you guys. And this is definitely something we're pursuing because we really believe in it. And we put it all on the line, like Art said, left DC to
no more DC.
Pursue this. So we really kind of put everything on the line to make this book happen.
That was not an easy decision. All right, this intrigues me. This one tab keeps calling me. It says Comics Values Monthly.
Oh, yes.
So let's see what this tab is. Do we have a question? Wait, let me back up. You guys, please, this is a Q&A, so don't feel like you're interrupting us. Ask questions, please,
Somebody
please.
wants to know if you have any scary fan stories from that time.
Oh, geez. There's an artist that told me this years later, but he was kind of mad at me. He's a professional artist now, but he wasn't at the time. He was kind of mad at me years later when I met him as a professional. He said, "You know what, Art? You refused to do me a sketch." And I was like, I did not refuse to do you a sketch. Remember that just at this comic book castle, Pamela, I was sketching constantly.
Right.
I was doing headshots for everybody. And at the time, they're a premium now at cons, you guys. But at the time, we used to draw for free. We would just give head sketches. I mean, they weren't Rembrandts or Michelangelos, but they were free. And so he's telling me, he goes, "You didn't draw in my," and I go, no. I go, "I did. I drew in your sketchbook. I do remember you." And then he's like, he goes, "Well, I have my sketchbook here." And so he opens his sketchbook, and not only did he find one sketch, as he was looking for that sketch, he found another sketch that was dated the exact same day. Okay? So I not only did this guy one drawing, I did him two drawings in the same day. And so then what I did, this is the truth of the story. The truth of the story comes out that I just refused to draw the third drawing for him. I didn't say I wasn't going to draw the drawing. It was the third drawing where I cut him off.
Wow.
So he was a little irate about that. But I think that's probably the extent of it. One interesting story, you want to tell us about the Michael Jackson's people at the Golden Apple?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so Pamela and I are at Golden Apple. If you guys don't know, that's on Melrose here in Hollywood in LA, and it's a huge store. And so this was in the day. We were invited to come and do a signing there for Black and White, and so we had people coming up, and then there was these two people. They didn't look like comic book fans at all. They stood out like a sore thumb. And so they have stacks of Black and White books, and they wanted to get Pamela and I to sign these things. And so I just asked, like, "Well, what were these for? Who are these for?" And they said, "Well, they're for a client of ours." And they were like, "A client? Well, what are you talking about?" So we just got to talking, and then my wife is very persuasive, and she's very heartfelt. So she broke down their defenses, and so then they said, "We're buyers for Michael Jackson." And we're like, "What?" And then it's like, "So he's a comic book fan?" They're like, "Not necessarily. He just really likes the title of the book." And I was like, "Oh, okay, that works out." So I guess that was the kind of one of the coolest things as far as Black and White. So here we go. Okay, here's Comics Value Monthly.
All right, so I have this actual, Comics Monthly in my hands. I'm going to read it. It's really long, so I'm just going to read a couple little parts of it that I thought were good.
Oh, it's an article by Buddy Scolari.
It is. It's an article by Buddy
Scolari.
Scalera.
Okay.
And he was writing specifically about the preview, I think, the 9-issue preview. Let me see.
Or the 9-page. No, it's 16-page preview.
He wrote, let's see, so it starts, Justice is always black and white. So he writes, Extreme Studios followers will soon find a new action-adventure title that promises to be a slight departure from the shoot-'em-up action savored by many comics fans. Although Black and White will feature the Extreme trademark of fun and adventure, co-creators Art and Pamela T-Bear says their series will not glorify senseless violence. The Black and White 9-issue preview series began to pop up in February and March in the back pages of Extreme Studios titles like Supreme. The 3-issue miniseries has been solicited for August. It'll be written by both Art and Pamela T-Bear, with Art supplying the penciling, inking, and lettering chores.
I didn't letter the book.
He was,
and also there is senseless violence in the book.
Yeah, because the next page she's kicking somebody like right in the face.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Extreme readers would be it
wouldn't be fun if there wasn't any senseless violence.
That's true. Let me see where they talk about White reflexes her karate skills to allow her to easily disarm her opponents. They are a team with an arsenal of creative alternatives to conventional firearms. Because Reed uses, even though he has a gun, it shoots like sleep bullets. Details like these are at the heart of the spy versus spy theme of the series. Black and White will feature more lies, betrayal, and intrigue than you could shake a hidden microphone at.
I'm sold.
The T-Bears are unabashed mystery and spy lovers. Their passions for the gray area of justice and spy thrillers is part of what fuels the Black and White theme. Everything in society is a shade of gray, observed Pamela. There is no definite black or white. I'm joking. Protagonists Black and White, however, feel quite the opposite. They ignore the shades of gray incorporated into conventional justice systems. In their minds, situations are simply black or white. There is no gray area. As ruthless vigilantes, Black and White dole out punishment with uncompromising standards.
Ooh, let's stop there. That's awesome. Oh, and just for the record, guys, they squashed this image. Like, I drew this better. This is like, she's all squatted down. But look at this, 1994. That was a good year. And it's issue 94.
Ooh,
yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
I guess.
But look at the one title. It could be from today. It's a gender thing. The role of women in comics.
Oh, yeah.
By Gwen
Stefani.
Oh my gosh, she finally broke out.
I know. She finally found her true calling. Her vocal talents.
Gwen Stefani, big Black and White fan.
Big, huge Black and White fan. The cool thing is there's names here as editor-in-chief, Steve Thomas. There's like, I still see these names pop up in comics.
Well, Buddy Scalara sounds familiar to me.
Yeah.
I think he reached out recently on the Facebook Black and White site, if I'm not mistaken.
That name is familiar.
Let's see. Oh, speaking of Whitney and fighting, somebody asked, Reed used to be a spy, but how did Whitney learn to fight?
The original version, we have two different versions, but I'll let Pamela answer the original version.
Now you're asking me stuff that that is so long gone from my brain.
Okay.
You need to ask me this stuff.
I'm going to put you on the spotlight
yes,
here.
you did.
Okay, so it's a good thing that, wait a minute, I don't remember either. Just kidding.
No.
Now we have no answer. No. So the thing is, I believe the new version of this idea is that she was always, since her child, gosh, how much spoiler? Because it ties into some of the plot.
Let's just say she was always kind of a troubled kid, and she's always kind of had kind of a hot temper. So she's been trained since she was a kid to kind of be disciplined. So she's a martial artist from when she was a kid, and it was kind of used, I think, to curb some of her natural temper.
Yeah, it was kind of early on, but I think also in the back of her mind, even at a young age, if something like this was going to happen again in her life, I'm not going to say anything, spoiler alert, but if something like that was going to happen again, she would make sure it didn't happen, that she would be able to fight back and not just kind of accept it. You do remember this part, Pamela, where you had her as a kid, even as a young child, she went after Chang.
Yes, she did. Because she is hot-headed. I think that's part of her charm, is that she's a hot-headed ballistic, smart-mouthed person, but she's got a heart that she will go to the ends of the earth to help someone.
Her passions burn hot.
Yeah.
Title said, "Did Taylor just give you a look, Art?" Why did I sound like I was scolding?
Well, I think they both did. Don't say any more, Art.
We don't want to spoil too much, but yeah, she's definitely a character that has no flight in her. She's all fight.
Yeah, and actually Taylor kicked me and Pamela gave me a look. Or maybe Pamela kicked me. I don't know where the direction is. They're both behind me.
So that's where she got her fighting skills.
Yeah, it's very motivational. Like, it's not going to feel out of left field or weird because, and especially the new remastered version. In the new remastered version, we've added new pages to it, and we've definitely expanded on origin stories and backstories on these characters. So you're going to get a more well-rounded, or at least a more detailed explanation of what motivates these characters and where they come from.
Yeah, we really we're getting to preview territory. We really want those extra pages because, like Art said, one of the major sequences that does get expanded has to do with Whitney's past, and I think it's something that you guys would be really interesting to see kind of how she became the character she is in the story proper.
Yeah, and so here's what keep asking with the Q&A. Like I said, just interrupt us with the questions. And I think Taylor still has about a page of questions that you guys sent us last night and this morning. So we'll keep reading away. So if you guys have questions, just keep going. Like I said, we'll just interrupt the flow here.
But if you guys don't know the lengths we've kind of gone with this remastering, this is one of the first pages I think we started remastering. I think, Art, you started kind of re-digitally inking, touching this one up like right when we had the idea to see if it would even work.
Yeah, this was an early on, and this the later pages got way more remastered than this. So this was the start, just to see if we could bring it into a 21st century look and make the book look more contemporary from the original. Technology has come a long way in 25 years. Not just the technical aspects for comic books in real life, but also just story-wise. There were computers back in '94, but there really wasn't the internet, and there wasn't the mass communication like cell phones and technology like that existed in '94. So a lot of the updates in the story aren't just, with coloring and with digitally remastering the line and everything, but it's also going to be in the story, incorporated in the stories as well.
Someone wanted to know. I'm sorry, Pamela. Go ahead.
Oh, excuse me. But with the coloring, look at the life that this new page has. Look at just the sky alone.
Yeah, zoom in on that.
As compared to the flat gray that you could do back then. There's just the life that's coming out of these pages is amazing.
Yeah. And this is we early on
do we want to tell the story?
I'm going to briefly tell the coloring woes. If you guys haven't been following, go back a couple YouTubes, and
I think there's a conveniently labeled YouTube video that's like betrayed, oh god, what is it, like left hanging by a colorist once again or something.
Yeah, I think we had 15, 19, 18,
now.
I don't know, different colorists on this book. So this was a brilliant guy named Nanjan, and he colored my Red Sonja cover and a lot of commissions. Thank you. My wife just brought us some waters. She is so kind. And so he colored this page, and my gosh, Taylor and I were like, this is going to work. Look at how beautiful this is. This is amazing.
How do you not get sold on that? It's
right.
Perfect.
And so he had other engagements, other things that were happening. So I believe he did two other pages, but they were kind of, because of his time restraints, they were not on this level.
Yeah, he couldn't commit the kind of time to the rest of the interior pages. Like, by the way, this is an interior page. I know it looks like a cover.
Yeah. No, this is Reed's first appearance in the book as Black.
He was very in demand, so he just couldn't commit the same kind of attention, unfortunately.
So we went in and out of a bunch of different colors, trying them on. And so we came to a guy named Perea, and he's the colorist now. And you're going to see some of his pages. And I don't know, we went through, when I say hell, that's not hyperbole. We went through hell trying to get this book colored. And so we ended up not only getting to this level, but plussing this level somehow. You guys, tenacity, never say never, never give up, and eventually great things can happen.
Believe me, there were times.
Oh my gosh, we just wanted to give up.
It was an emotional roller coaster for sure, but we never gave up the standard that we wanted to hold the colorist to, and finding a colorist who could do that, even though it was quite a journey.
Yeah, so I believe, is this...
Yes, and somebody in the chat, I thought this was interesting or worthy of addressing. Somebody in the chat wanted us to describe what powers Reed and Whitney possess and what their main abilities are.
Well, probably the main thing is just them as people, because they are the yin to each other's yang. So their problem solving are almost complete and utter opposites. Wouldn't you say, personality, you guys?
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where he's calm and collected, he's logical and methodical. And also, he has a really strong sense of right and wrong. I know that sounds corny, but they made it work in the new Captain America movies. So, God, what is Steve Rogers? What's the actor's name?
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans.
Yes.
Oh my gosh! Just think about. Not that I'm trying to make a comparison, but just as a shorthand way, Chris Evans as Steve Rogers is Reed Blackett. You never have to question his morality, and the right thing will always come out of his mouth, because he always has the greater good in mind. And to him, the ends don't justify the means. Where we have a character, Whitney Sung, aka White, the ends do justify the means to her. She does believe that sometimes the solution is absolute, is killing, is putting somebody in the ground, is punishing them physically.
Yeah, her passions burn hot, so she wants immediate vengeance when things happen. Like, she's a very passionate person. She kind of can't put her feelings aside. Like, when something's clearly wrong, it has to be righted right then. Like, whereas Reed would want, like, a fair trial and things to be done in a kind of a high-standing moral way, hers is more of like, it is very cut and dry, black and white, but she has less, I think, self-control in that way.
Yeah, so I think what makes them interesting is that they have different points of view, and at times that they will fight about those points of view. And what in the mini series and the adaptation, well, not the adaptation, but the remastered version, Whitney's mindset is going to be clearly, well, I'm not going to say.
Yeah, don't give it away.
I'm not going to say.
It's kind of an origin story, you guys. So Whitney's character that she is might not be who she ends up being.
Yeah. So anyway, just as far as the ongoing and way of looking at these characters for us, that Reed isn't going to always be right. That there are going to be times where Whitney and her way of dealing with justice is the right way. But together, when they debate these things, their justice together will always be clear cut. It'll be black and white.
People in the chat, I think, want to zoom in a little closer on this. They're intrigued by the yellow. Oh, this one's makes a very big difference.
And this is Perea, and this is a clear. The other page didn't have as much remastering, but you can see the restructuring and the reprioritizing of certain panels, making certain ones bigger, other ones smaller. Sometimes we have deleted panels altogether. We've drawn brand new panels in. There's a lot of different things going on to make this book feel brand new, and also just bring it into a 21st century to a current standards. So should we answer about the suits, or just give
that's right, the suits,
the powers?
Yeah, because the characters do have actual superhuman abilities, and they're given to them through their suits that they wear. The black and white suits are they're cybernetic suits, and they work symbiotically. So together they can kind of fight in tangent with one another. And we'll show you on the cover, but if you guys have seen the cover of the new book, and Art's New Designs, the characters have they have a little marking under their eye, and when those markings show up, it means that their suits are synced together.
They're symbiotic, yeah.
And that's how they fight in tangent, kind of as one. And it also increases their abilities, like they have increased agility and strength, and they can kind of redirect kinetic energy. So if Reed's getting overrun by a group of guys, he can kind of absorb that, and the suit will redirect it.
Yeah. So you could look at this. So what I do is this would be the original scan line art, and then this was all digitally redrawn. So this is me in the computer reworking this face. So this is not a completely redrawn. It is completely redrawn, but not by hand. It's done digitally. So you can kind of see where I was in 1994 versus where I am artistically and talent-wise contemporarily in 2018. So here's also, you can see the robots are kind of tightened up, and they're slightly redesigned from the originals.
The chat wants to know about the main villain and his motivations. And yeah, this is our main villain of the book and kind of his first appearance here.
And where we said with the drawing, the fan drawing, that he's kind of like the Phoenix. I don't want to get into too much of his backstory.
It's very, very oriented to the story, you guys, because it is an origin story. So if we go too much into his motives, it is going to spoil big parts of the story.
And it is slightly a different take from the original miniseries as well, so it's gonna feel different and unique. His motivations and his backstory are slightly different. They're similar but different. So, gosh, I don't want to say too much because I think it'll spoil the plot.
Let's just say he has a past with Whitney and her family, and he's kind of gotten himself a new identity and kind of gotten away with some things because a lot of people don't know who he is.
He's a mystery man.
He is, and he's a huge part of the story.
Oh, he's the main villain. And you know what? Heroes are only as good as their villains are bad. So this is a really bad man. Oh, this is a brand new page for the book.
Oh yeah, this is one that when we're talking about additional pages, it's stuff like this that we really want to add.
So this is an additional page, and you can tell it's pretty seamless to the original stuff. So when you look at the remastering...
Muttman wants to know why these pages are not on the IndieGoGo, and most of them should be. We have a lot of the these finished pages on the IndieGoGo if you scroll down in the description.
But also part of this is a special preview, guys. So if you have black and white friends or comic book fans or people that just want to see kind of before and after and hear people talk about the creative process, get them in here because we still have a lot of stuff to do here. So yeah, one of the main things that we want to do is give you guys a preview. So this does go well beyond the IndieGoGo. So this is a sneak peek.
So a lot of this stuff, it's the first time anyone besides all the people in this room have ever seen any of this.
And this is the first time you're going to see these comparisons, the before and afters. And so you can see, like, you know, when you look at his face and his face, and then you go into the next page, you can see it's compatible. So even though this is a new page, I believe that it'll be seamless. And that's another reason why I'm redrawing the whole book, is so that the new pages that we add will feel seamless, because I hate it when it feels like the Marvel bullpen guys go in there and they do a panel here or a page there. I didn't want it to feel like that. I want it to feel like a flawless, 48 pages, which if we can get, or when we get to the 30 plus stretch goal, we are going to add at least 6 new story pages to the book. And those will, Taylor and I, these will be pivotal pages.
We really, really want them, you guys.
Yeah, I really want those pages because I want this to be the ultimate black and white experience, and I want to give you guys the best book that we can possibly give. And I know it's high, it's 30,000, but the thing is, so we can take the time to draw these things and get them colored and all the extra expense. That 30K is, I hate to say it, but it's kind of a drop in the bucket to how expensive these books are to make.
Yeah, and we're doing all this work right now completely out of pocket, so...
Yeah, we're financing this right now out of our own pocket.
Yeah, so, like, we're really... All this money really is going into making the book the best that it can be.
Yeah, so this is a brand new page, and do we have any questions? Because I'm talking a lot. Oh, go ahead.
Also, you know, yes, it is out of pocket, but we do believe that good comics are, you know, you support what you believe in. And so many of the comics today may have bad storylines or just things that you don't, they're not a good action adventure. It's not what you want. So, and I just don't want to get into certain things, so I'm trying to keep what I'm saying sort of.
But I think what you're trying to say is that, you know, in a contemporary way, you know, this book is going to stand out from the pack of the Marvel DC books and some of the politics and some of the shenanigans, as Taylor says all the time, the shenanigans that they're pulling. This is a pretty straightforward action adventure. It's fun. There's no real deeper meaning other than, you know, justice can only be black and white.
Right.
And oh, go ahead.
And you want to, we're trying to make these characters people that, not just this book or the next IndieGoGo that will finish up this story arc, but that you want to follow even more and go, I want another story. You know, these are just fun to read. I can suspend belief, join in with this, have a great time, maybe a few laughs with some of the dialogue, that sort of thing, and just become a part of their world.
Yeah, that's the main thing that we want. Also, just to accent what you're saying, is that we believe in it so much that we are investing our own money into it. You know, we are investing our own time into it as well. So there's a lot of commitment here on multiple levels.
I think that brings us to, let me see, we got a couple questions. When did you decide that you wanted to remake Black and White?
Ooh, that's a good question. You know what?
2 weeks after you stopped?
Exactly. That's where I was going, but that's actually better said than where I was going to go, because I had a million words to say, but you summed it up so quickly. Yeah, I mean, as soon as Pamela and I realized that we weren't going to be able to sustain it in, was it like 96 or 95?
Uh-huh.
Because what happened is there was a market crash in 95, 96. So from the time of the original miniseries to the ongoing, the market just didn't sustain these books. And so I had to go back to Marvel and start working for page rate again. And it saddened me. And the thing is, I don't know if I don't know. I just stay in places. And it never went away. Like Black and White never went away for 25 years. I have multiple versions of Black and White. Some of them it's fully drawn that I've worked on for the past 25 years, but it never really felt right until now. And I think what really, I can't understate this, like Taylor read the original miniseries and she fell in love with it, and then she was pointing out like what I thought was some of the cornier aspects or some of the things that I felt were dated or didn't work, and she absolutely fell in love with them. And she's a lot younger than we are, so for a younger person to come in and think that this stuff was really cool, it made me reevaluate the whole the whole thing. Like, because I was thinking we were going to have to redo everything, like make it all contemporary. Like some of the other versions I had, they are not these two characters anymore. But she said, no, Whitney's cool. I go, yeah, but she's just ballistic. She goes, yeah, but that's fun. That's cool. That's interesting. And you even said, like, that's everything I like is being a woman and reading comics. Like,
yeah, it was a really interesting experience because I think from the moment I started working with you, just in like the ink capacity, not the writing capacity, I think you were always kind of working on a new incarnation of Black and White in some form or another. And the stories they're really interesting, and it was a really interesting world because I think you had a lot of different revamps, and it was more robot heavy and stuff, and really intriguing stories that maybe we'll revisit at some point. But I hadn't read the series, so I didn't really know what the original incarnation of the characters were, and I think when I finally read them, there's something about Black and White that really resonated with me. And there's something that, like, evidently resonated with a lot of people. Like, when you read the fan letters and stuff, there's something about it that kind of grabs you. And
there's a magic that Whitney has. There is some kind of chemistry.
She's definitely a fan favorite character.
Yeah, that they absolutely love. Because we only read some of the letters, you guys. There was some crazy letters.
There's a
lot
huge
of them.
archive of them, and I just dug out a few. But yeah, there's definitely something about her and something about the world that kind of hints at something deeper, and I think it really resonates with people. And I think when you read this book, you're going to see what I mean. I think we really kept that intact. And there's another, this might feed into another question, just about the artwork and the remastering and stuff. Someone asked last night, actually a friend of mine asked, how much of the book has been rewritten, the full story or just the dialogue?
Well, the first three, well, they were originally 3 installments, so Pamela thought it would be better if instead of 3 installments, we combined those 3 issues into 2 graphic novels. So now it's all written, but like I guess it would be now the 3rd act
is the final book.
Is the final book, but also that's the loosest written, right? So like issue 1 is pretty tight, with the exception of the addition of the new pages. So we have those thumbnails, but we don't really have dialogue or any real clear page layouts for.
Yeah, the whole script has been rewritten. Like, we rewrote the whole thing together, not just the dialogue. So there was a lot of work there, but yeah, we wrote it just as a straight up 3-issue series like the original, but on Pamela's suggestion, we combined the first 2 into volume 1, and then volume 2 is 3 and some additional content, but we have
a lot of additional content.
Yeah, there's a lot of additional content. They're kind of, I'm trying to think of how to describe this. The full story, it kind of bleeds as like a graphic novel, and we had a lot of trouble because everything ends on a cliffhanger. We really kind of wanted to keep that kind of intrigue going.
But from issue 1 to issue 2 is a major cliffhanger, and if that's in one book, we couldn't really structure it as a cliffhanger. And if you don't mind me kind of interjecting here,
go ahead.
That one of the things that we are going to try to entice you guys with and try to help motivate you to get to the 30K goal, the stretch goal, is there's a page that was deleted from the final draft of Remastered, and it's a splash page, and Taylor was talking about that transition cliffhanger. It's the first page of the original issue 2. This is giving me chills.
It's a great page too, you guys.
And we're going to give that page away absolutely for nothing. If you guys can help get us to 30K, that page will be some lucky backer, and they will be able to have that original page. And like I said, it will only exist in the original 3 issues. Issue 2, actually. It will not be part of the Remastered, and it's a killer splash page. And I think we have it here that we'll show you later. But I just thought that would be a good segue that you were saying to go into that.
Yeah, so when we hit 30K, we're going to do a drawing of all all the backers from the beginning till we hit that 30, and one of you guys will get that page.
But you also have a couple more pages, don't you, to give away at the same time?
Yeah, I was hoping. Let me see if I can. Let's put a pin in that, and then just remind me. We'll come back to that. But we really should start taking some questions.
Yeah, there's a few more. So, but yeah, like I said, we rewrote the whole thing. It's not just the dialogue.
Yeah, the whole plot is different. The backstory of the characters they're similar, but they're different. And I would say probably 70% of the dialogue is reworked.
Yeah. Somebody wanted to know, by the way, and this is a really good example page for it. Somebody wanted to know how long it takes you to remaster a page versus drawing like from scratch.
I originally this is how life works, right guys? This is how life works. You think, okay, I'll go digital and I'll just redraw from the original scans. Like this drawing came from this original scan. Let me scoot it over. I don't think it's quite
zoom in on it too, because this is a good.
Okay, here we go. Let me scoot it over so they can see both.
There we are.
Okay, so let me move it. Maybe you can see a little bit of Reed's figure too. So, okay, so this is what it started, and then this is how it finishes. So you can see the restructuring of the face. A lot of the rendering is simplified for a more contemporary look. Even the hair is slightly redone. The eyes, these are leaning. They're more straightened. There's just a lot of like nuanced stuff that's going on here, because after 25 years, I think I'm a better artist than I was then. I hope you guys agree, because this is crazy amount of work. But to just get back to the original point, I thought digitally, this will be a breeze, right? This will be easy. I'm just going in digitally and just augmenting some stuff and tweaking some things. No. This, I could draw a page as quickly as I could do this. But the reason I'm staying with it is to keep the original integrity there and to keep the story to how it would still feel. And I think what's going to be cool about this is there's some old and new. So it's really a hybrid. I don't think any comic has ever been done this way, to be honest. Just to toot my own horn, I don't think a comic book's ever been done like this. So this is, when we say remastering, you can see this is not just, you guys, cleaning up some lines.
This is beyond just art changing some styles of hatching and stuff. And like, I help out a little by cleaning up like a black. Look at the stuff that Art did. This is like completely redrawn. Like he goes in and redraws this whole face to bring it to a contemporary style. Like it is not a quick thing. And like, just to dote on you for a minute, Art, like...
You can dote on me, I'll let you.
Like, your attention to detail on this stuff is so exact and so precise. Like, you guys could look at this for an hour and find something new that's changed and improved.
Oh, thank you.
Well, look even at the difference in the buildings to bring it, give more visual interest. He added, all of this, the wall. If you guys knew how much time he spent on these, you would be totally amazed.
You guys, there's at least, depending on the page, there could be anywhere between 8 and 10 hours invested on one page. And the thing is, this is where, like, this is completely me. Taylor helps me technically on a lot of the stuff early on.
But this style stuff is not me. This is Art going in and making this stuff happen.
But what she's doing now, and this is like her years of inker assisting, is I did this, but if you can see from the original, let me go the original, and this is just how painstaking. All this barbed wire, you can see it here, and it's just kind of a line and then a white line painted on black and then some white lines painted in. So it's really abbreviated barbed wire. But if you look at this, it's all drawn out. So that means you have to clean up the black on the windows, and then you have to digitally redraw all the barbed wire from scratch. So one of the things, I mean, I keyed into the original, but you can see, and then instead of the black being in the windows, I put the black around the frame and then lit up the windows to give it some life, because this one was looking a little flat. It was looking a little, it didn't look alive to me. So a lot of these decisions are to bring some new life and new character and new energy to things. And where I'm going with this is that a lot of this nuanced background stuff and cars, Taylor is really good at curves. And if you've ever tried to draw digitally in curves and stuff, they're pretty hard. So she's really good at that. So what we're doing now to try to speed things up a little bit is that Taylor's now digitally coming in and remastering a lot of the more technical side of things, buildings, robots, tech things, stuff like that. So we're going to be able to speed up the process that way. And it's just because I think I don't know, everybody thinks that if you do things on computers, it's faster. It's not faster. Even I was so stupid going into this thinking, oh, it's going to be faster. It's not really faster. But I do.
And we are a small team, and we realize that. But this stuff is really personal, and art's like very much art directing this stuff. So we're really keeping it in house and handling all this kind of just between us.
Well, because too, that's where you get the personal, like the personal vision. Like this isn't a Marvel like many hands jam job. This is really a personal job. So even when we're working with the colorist, we got to plug in the.
Yeah, if you guys see the stream shaking,
it's gonna bounce around.
I'm plugging this in right now.
Yeah, I hope you guys are liking this, and make sure,
right.
like I said before, ask tons of questions, because we're here for you guys.
Yeah. Okay. And yeah. And fun fact, art has a really good sense of color, despite mostly working in black and white. So there's some major art directing. The colorist brings a lot to it, but this page in particular, there's a lot of major art directing that I think really paid off.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to do.
This is the most fun part of building this thing.
Yeah. So here's the most recent, and I don't think we've previewed these anywhere before. So this is the first time. We have a question?
Let me see. Go ahead and keep talking. I'll look for a few. The chat's kind of lighting up right now.
But we still have the prepared questions.
Yes. Looking fantastic. Art, have you shown this to George Lucas? This is how you remaster a classic.
Yeah. there were aspects of his remastering that I liked, but there were also parts that I didn't care for too much. So I think I learned from George's experience what to remaster and what not to.
Somebody asked as well, and we can show the full reveal once we've gone through these, but they asked if you were going to change your 90s designs to a more contemporary suit design. And you can see here, actually, even some of the like their, not the suits, but even their fashion design is a little bit updated.
But to answer that question, yes. But go ahead, Taylor.
Yeah, so Art did some redesigns for the suits. It is story-oriented, so I don't want to talk about it too much, but if you see the new cover, the suits there is a modern rendition of the suits that you will see in the book. And as you can see right here, there's some little fashion changes to Reed's civilian attire as well.
But he's got a newspaper. He's got a newspaper. Okay, check this out too. It opens up with the daily news. Well, what is? I think I had another name for it. I forget, like the Maltese Squire or something. I don't know. But you can see she's looking through a newspaper, so she's referencing the newspaper, and in this, she got an email. So, oh no, she's referencing a news article, right?
Yeah. So she's reading a news article on her laptop. Or it's not a laptop; it's a PC, actually.
Yeah. So she's the intern at the Sung Brothers Brewery, which is, if you read the original, this is a take on the Kamisaya Brewery that we later found out is more Japanese than Chinese. So we kind of learned there too.
So this is Miss Stone, and she's kind of Whitney's buddy / assistant.
Confidant.
Yeah.
She's more than just an assistant.
She is. She cares about this brewery, man. When you guys read the sequence, you'll see how much she's invested.
Yeah. She loves Uncle Yi, and she loves Whitney. And so you can see kind of the remastering at work here.
Look at that face. It's beautiful.
Yeah. I miss having to get rid of the hand, though, because I thought that hand came out really good. I like drawing newspapers. I'm weird, so I liked drawing newspapers and like new stuff, like graphically, this is a screen, so it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's a black rectangle.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, newspapers were kind of a major storytelling element visually for like movies and comics.
Of the time, definitely.
Yeah, like it was a major storytelling element, and now they don't really have that. I was watching a movie recently, actually, where this woman was, she was reading a blog or something, and it jump cut to this really bad over-the-shoulder, like, version of the screen she was reading, and it was not, like, as immediate as a newspaper, because newspapers have the art just with the big font and stuff. It was really awkward.
Yeah.
But those are the times we live in.
Hey, Pamela, do you remember this line? As Mr. Shakespeare once said, methinks the gentleman doth protest too much.
Yes. I like Shakespeare. What can I say?
Just for the record, that line stayed.
Yeah, we liked that one.
It made the final draft. So yeah, so we'll switch over to here. Look at my gosh! I hope you guys can see the level of work that went into this, and also just Taylor did all the graphic design. So I think the Sung Brothers Brewery is so much more what it needs to be, and at the same time, one of the brainstorming sessions is that it's the Sung Brothers. So if you remember the original, and I'm not going to say any more about that there were brothers, but that we never really honed the fact that they were in business together. It was kind of like they were. It was there, but it wasn't really.
It's implied.
Yeah, it wasn't really in detail. So, excuse me, just by seeing the sign now, you see that it has more. It says more, and that without having to explain it in dialogue and stuff, you can just see the logo, and you're gonna know that there were brothers involved.
Somebody wanted to know, this is from some of the older questions. As long as we're on the subject of digital inking and how you've been doing this, but what tools do you use in your traditional inking?
Traditional, it's mostly pen and brush. So a lot of the textures and hair, I use a brush. Depending on the style, I'll do the hatching with a brush, but I mainly use the Hunt 102 pen. It's a dip pen, crow quill, and I use that for the majority of the work. So I think this book originally was mostly brush. So if you look at this stuff here, you can see the brush strokes. A lot of it's all brush because there's a lot of dry brushing involved as well. So the neat thing about coming in digitally is I could tighten it up, but a lot of the brush strokes are still in place. So it really is kind of a cool hybrid of really tight, like digital look, with still a brush organic. I think this is a pretty unique looking book.
It gives it a very unique look, I think, all its own.
Yeah, and so here...
I think this is definitely a book that comic lovers would want in their library.
Thanks, but I also think that patting on the back thing, that's getting coming out here, I don't think this has ever been done before. I don't think anybody has gone to this extent to remaster a classic comic book.
Maybe new color, but that's about it.
Yeah, and maybe some new dialogue, but not to this extent. So this is...
Nick says, I'm psyched to see all the new updates. It's going to be like Where's Waldo?
Yeah. There's also... Okay, maybe we should have a contest, find the image eye, because there's like image eyes everywhere in this story. Like the original story, for some reason, I put image eyes. I just like that logo. I put them everywhere.
Yeah, if you guys buy the book, try to find all the image eyes hidden. Somebody wants to know, how crazy does the studio get when there are deadlines?
I'll say it this way. in the old days, before I had a system, it would get crazy. It would get absolutely insane. Sometimes we would work all through the night and morning, and I would drive the pages to TWA. Was it TWA Next?
I think so, yeah.
Because we use
At LAX.
Yeah, Pamela and I used to live in the South Bay beaches, and if you know LA, those are close to the LAX International Airport, and so I would drive the pages right to, and it was practically on the tarmac of the cargo planes, and I would give them a FedEx box. They would put it in the plane, and then Marvel would get it the next day. So it would get pretty intense.
But not even that far back. Before Taylor joined, when you had when you were doing like 8 Marvel books a month, you guys had blankets at the studio.
Yeah, we would sleep at the studio.
And then you just, you know, it would be like, Art, are you coming home? Not tonight. Yeah.
And the thing is, I wish I had a blanket, because some of those things, they weren't planned. Like, you think you go into it, it's like, oh, I'll be home, you know, and then you realize there's a lot more work there that you thought originally. So then you end up like, oh gosh, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. I can't make it, you know. So then you just like, I gotta sleep for a couple hours. Sometimes I'd say, Pamela, wake me up at 6. Like, she'd call me at the studio because I didn't have an alarm or anything. So, and I didn't trust myself to get up. So, you know, I'd lay down at 4 on the cold carpet, and it wasn't even like real carpet. It was like indoor outdoor. You know, that hard
like
stuff.
a thin coating of carpet over concrete.
On concrete, yeah. So it'd be cold and
like
everything.
Sleeping out of school.
Yeah. So I would just lay down next to the drawing board, and I'd be so tired I didn't care. You know, so I would just sleep on the floor, no pillow, no blanket, and then I get a phone call and I get back up and finish the page. Yeah, you're right. It did get pretty crazy. Yeah, but maybe it's scar tissue. Maybe it's stuff I don't want to remember. Yeah, so yeah.
Well, I don't know. I do remember you guys going a little stir crazy during one of those and hanging Teletubbies from the ceiling.
Yeah, we had, my daughter was really young, so McDonald's would have the giveaways, and the different fast food places would have the giveaways, and she loved chicken nuggets or whatever the heck it was. So when she would come over, because sometimes my wife would do errands, so the studio became daycare. This is when I had an outside studio. I work out of the house now, but I had a studio. And so Amanda would stay there, and so to entertain her, we had like a toy box. And so then she'd open the toy box, and she had all her toys there. So I guess some of the guys got bored with the all-nighter, and they just hung a bunch of the Teletubbies all around the studio. And I think they drew mustaches and stuff, because I think, wasn't there like a Rosie O'Donnell like toy line or something?
Oh gosh.
That McDonald's had.
From the Tarzan.
No, they were like, it was like Rosie's World or something like that. It was Rosie O'Donnell. And I remember, do you remember the one toy? It was like, she was standing up on top of you talk about egomaniac. And you could roll the globe.
And
then
she stayed still.
It was kind of like, what is that character from Star Wars, the new Star Wars, Force Awakens? It was like
BB-8.
Yeah, it was like BB-8. It was like a BB-8.
She stayed on top of the world roll. I totally remember that.
Yeah, so those toys got
one, Taylor.
Probably.
Yeah, she's a lot younger. Yeah.
Title says with enough lack of sleep, you get. I think you were just saying you get crazy.
Yeah.
With enough lack of sleep, you'll get a bit nuts and not know it.
Yep.
But the best part about the Teletubby story is we're also kind of, I don't know if the right word's macho guys, but you don't want to show weakness, right, when you're working with a bunch of guys. So nobody had the nerve to pull those things down, because if we pulled those down, then it would be like we broke, like somebody broke. So they stayed hanging up there. And one of them was over the doorway. It was right over the main entrance. And this is a public office building space. And so the fire department would come in and check codes because there were like safety codes and stuff like that, fire codes. And so I just remember, and fire guys, those guys are usually pretty big dudes.
Oh yeah.
And so we always, because we were shorter guys, we could walk right under the Teletubbies. And I think one of the guys were taller, but he would just maneuver his head around because he knew it was there. But I just remember those fire guys, department guys, they walked in and that Teletubby bumped him in the head. And he was like, what the hell? And then the other guys behind him saw it and started cracking up because I think it was, what was it, Tinky Winky or what?
Tinky Winky, Lala, and
which one was the...
Tinky Winky was with the creepy deep voice.
Which one was the one that had the handbag that were saying may have been gay?
I think that was Tinky Winky.
I think it was Tinky Winky then. It was whichever one was considered to be maybe the not so straight one. Not that there's any problem with that, but I just
be
thought
true to yourself, Teletubbies.
Yeah, be true.
P Money wants to know who has really helped give you advice to do an IndieGoGo.
Well, I did a Kickstarter a couple years ago, so I have crowdfunded prior to this, and then.
Twice.
Yeah, twice. And then last year, Taylor and I did a Kickstarter for my art book, which was called Oodles and Doodles and Other Stuff Too. And so we Kickstarted that. So I have a little bit of experience doing crowdfunding. And if you guys want to look just for a track record, so you know that we're trustworthy, all that stuff did go out. It all shipped on time.
On Kickstarter.
On Kickstarter, yeah. IndieGoGo wise, we were going to do black and white through Kickstarter originally. And so a good friend of mine, close friend of mine, is Mike Miller. And so Mike was telling me about, a lot of the success that he and his friends were having on IndieGoGo. And so Taylor and I and Pamela as well, we run everything through Pamela because she's the saner of the three of us. She's the wise. She keeps us centered. Yeah, but I like that, so then we can be crazy and out there. And so we looked into the platform, and it really is a superior platform, I believe, as far as crowdfunding. And not to harp on the thing, but even something like the in-demand store where you can go in demand after you funded. That's not an option with Kickstarter. So there's just a lot more options with IndieGoGo that you don't have through Kickstarter. Excuse me. Oh gosh, excuse me.
Yeah, there's actually there's the in-demand, and there's also the system of adding particular items and stuff is a lot more intuitive on IndieGoGo.
Yeah, the technical aspects of putting things up,
Definitely.
is a lot easier and better than Kickstarter. And Kickstarter has like a backer kit or something like that you can do after the campaign, but IndieGoGo has it built right in already. And I like that they take, and this is more of a business part of it, but that IndieGoGo takes the credit card information and the transaction is at the time versus Kickstarter, where at the end of Kickstarter they go after the funds. Like, is it who partners with Kickstarter? Is it
PayPal?
Google? PayPal
Or Amazon as well.
Amazon, yeah.
Yeah, as a consumer, because I've gotten stuff on Kickstarter and I've gotten a few books on IndieGoGo. It is a lot easier when you make a purchase on IndieGoGo, I think, for the funds to be immediately gone so you know you made that purchase. Versus on Kickstarter, maybe a month passes and you're like, where did my money go?
Yeah.
And you can still cancel
on
IndieGoGo, but it's just a much cleaner.
Convenient.
Yes,
because
cleaner, convenient way to
transaction,
do it.
Right. Yeah. And also that I think the funds, you know more what you're up against with IndieGoGo than you do with Kickstarter, because a lot of times with Kickstarter, the pledges and things will drop out when they go to try to do the transaction, the business transaction. But IndieGoGo, from what I hear, has less of those problems. So like Pamela said, you can cancel at any time, but the way the system is structured, it's less likely to happen. Let's go. Do we have any more questions?
Let's go to the next one.
Yeah, you guys feel free. we're going to try to wrap this up. But we have a big announcement too, so stay with us. We have a big announcement. So here's another page. These are pages that no one's seen yet, so these are revealed here for the first time.
Someone would like to know with the colorist that we have now and our colorist woes we have in the past, do we have an established colors for the book? And if not, can they come and do the coloring?
Yeah, I mean, if this would have been maybe a couple weeks ago,
oh my gosh,
we would have said, a month ago, we would have said, yeah, send your samples. And you know what? Still, send your samples. Can they send them through that MediaFire?
Yeah, you know what, you guys, check the links in the description after this video is over. I'll add the link to our MediaFire where we usually accept the portfolio review stuff. And if you guys have fan art, feel free to send it there too. But if you have color samples, definitely send those our way because we do have projects planned for the future and we're always looking for new talent for stuff like that.
Yeah, well, go ahead.
May I interject?
Sure.
Look at the color on Miss Stone's face here and then look at the beauty that...
Oh, yeah.
I mean...
Yeah, let me zoom in here. She's gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just awesome where the old coloring just...
Did you hear how I said she's gorgeous? Like I didn't draw it. Like I was actually like Miss Stone's a real person. That was so weird. Like
well,
I was like, yeah.
Weird.
I know, but I mean, I just said it like I just said
like you'd never seen her before.
Like I'd never seen her. Like she was a real person.
Like you hadn't spent an hour drawing her face,
right,
and inventing how it looked.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I just thought it was funny. Gosh. So now you know how she keeps us humble and keeps us directed. Yeah. Because this happens hourly.
But yeah, this guy is a really good colorist, but we are always looking for a new talent. So if you want to work with us, do some color stuff, don't hold back. We'll definitely take a look.
Yeah, and Taylor did say fan art, but like you can send samples in that you want me to critique, but also if there's black and white art. If there's black and white art and you want us to post that around and stuff like that, feel free to draw some black and white stuff.
Yeah, because we'll definitely do a showcase if we get enough pieces. Nick says, you both do great portfolio reviews. It's awesome that you two take time to do that. Well, Art does the reviews. I just chime in.
Yeah, but you keep it focused, and then you're able to read the chats and stuff, so like I really do appreciate it.
I'm like your Robin from Howard Stern. She just laughs and goes, when stuff goes well.
Yeah, and then she brings up some stuff every once in a while
I
for
love
him.
Robin.
Robin Givens?
You know, Miss Stone's a little Robin-esque now. Look at her.
There's a little Robin there. But you can see too with Chang the difference in the structure and things.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But you can see there's enough of the original there that makes it into the new version.
Yeah, it's still him.
Yeah. Just simple things too, like the hand smaller to push it back in perspective more.
And if you guys do watch Art's portfolio reviews and stuff, you can really see, I think you have a really good understanding of proportion and stuff, as far as like correcting people's work, and those little tweaks make a big difference. You guys can really see Art knows what he's talking about when it's come to this stuff. He did it to his own work.
Yeah, this is kind of like the portfolio review. Yeah.
But of your portfolio from, gosh, how many years ago?
25 years.
25 years.
Yeah. Okay, so is this...
Yeah.
All right.
I think this is the last. There might be one more after this.
Okay, so yeah, we really wanted to show you guys
this is one of my favorites.
like a major preview here. So just remember, these were state-of-the-art computer colors in '94, and this is Steve Olaf. Steve Olaf and Oli Optics were the best of the best at the time. So they colored, they did all the color work for Spawn, and they were definitely trendsetters at the time.
It looks outdated now, but at the time this was pretty revolutionary, and it's really well done.
It's still really well done. I like the color schemes and things, but there was banding. There were certain limitations to computers at the time.
Because the method, yeah.
Yeah, the computer just wouldn't let you do things, and now there's more airbrushing and textures and things that you can use. So here's a side by side. You can see more shadows dropped in, more dramatic lighting and shadow that I put in.
Someone in the chat says, can someone send you writing and see what you think of their script?
Um, I wouldn't really be too qualified, I think, to give you any feedback on that. So I would say probably it would be better not to. Unless they were black and, well, I don't know. Nah.
Well, I mean, comic scripts.
Well, the thing is,
Ideas.
yeah, I can maybe get in trouble
Oh, that's right.
legally with ideas
That's why
and stuff.
movie producers and stuff won't read unscripted, or I mean unsolicited, because if there's an idea,
Yeah. Because I was going to say bring black and white stuff, which I'd be more qualified to critique. But if there's an idea that you put in there and then let's just say
2 years from now,
Something similar makes
something,
it a...
yeah, then you know I might get in trouble. So I think it would be better not to. So I want to help, but
It sounds like you need a Pamela in your life. You need an editor that's trusted.
yeah,
Aw.
everyone needs a Pamela. But you can't have mine.
That would be a great slogan.
Everyone needs a T-shirt. Everyone needs a Pamela, but you can't have mine. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. I want one.
I have a contract. I have a marriage license. But this is a fun little beat. I wanted the colors to kind of light her in a way that she almost looks angelic with the halo around her with the light, like oh, and so but she's flipping out like this is her. She's
going through a rough time.
Yeah, she's having a hard time. So I thought it would be funny to juxtapose like the angelic with the thing. And okay, Taylor.
Oh, scoot it over a little. Oh no, it's I think we kept this line in.
Yeah.
And she says, "Get away from me, you pervert! If you try to touch me again, I'll eat your face."
And just know that did make the final cut.
We could not cut that. It was too perfect.
That is Pamela genius right there. I mean, eat your face. Who goes there? You know who goes there? Whitney Sung. The angelic, beautiful Whitney Sung that they had to chain up, otherwise
she's as tough as steel, but as soft and sexy as silk.
Oh, somebody wrote that in the letters column, right?
It was in the fan art. Yeah.
Fan art, yeah, yeah, that's hilarious.
Admit, with Whitney, you got to bob and weave, bob and weave.
Yeah, you never know what you're gonna get. Will she be angelic or will she be demonic? I don't know. Will she eat your face or serve you pie? You never know. And so just know, guys, I do this in all my creator-owned stuff. Sometimes I'll even do it in my Marvel and DC stuff. I'll put numbers in. So if you go back to Chrono, there's 7s all over the place. So it's like Sector 7. The ship is number 7, and there's 7s. And that's how old our daughter was, Amanda, at the time that I created that and drew that book. So I thought it would be fun with the remastering is that I would put her current age. So she's 21 now. So Whitney, as far as her prison garb, will have like she's, I don't know, she's
inmate number 21.
Yeah, 21 for all we know. I don't know. But that's where the 21 comes from. So if you see numbers like that, usually it means something to me personally. And so, oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, this Reed faces. This was one of the first. If you guys follow the Black and White official Facebook page, or if you're subscribed to the newsletter, I think this was one of the first side-by-side previews we released, which was just this panel, so you could see. And I think it was the inked version, not the colored.
Yeah, it was the inked version. So let's see what else we have here. But this is just gorgeous, gorgeous. One of the art directional things that Taylor and I were bringing up to the colorist is that we're big fans of the art direction of Blade Runner, and we're big fans of the Star Wars art direction.
Yeah.
So a lot of the contemporary coloring and ideas are coming from those two movies, because I think art directionally speaking, almost all the Star Wars movies are amazing, and definitely the original Blade Runner and then the current one, art directionally speaking, are amazing.
Lived in futuristic worlds with kind of dramatic lighting that plays a major part in the story.
So one of the things I'm trying to impart to the colorist is that as Blade Runner has the haze, there's a lot of haze always, a lot of smoke and things.
Atmospheric.
Yeah, atmospheric. So this was all solid black. So there's the slight greenish fade to knock back the black, almost like there's a little bit of a night glow and that night kind of mist that comes in.
Yeah, you can see the moonlight kind of lighting the room and hitting certain spots.
Yeah. So.
It's one of my favorite pages.
Yeah, me too.
I think this is the last.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we don't have a side-by-side for these ones. I just put them in at the last minute here so we could get in. This is I think this is our latest finished page.
Yeah, this is. We just finished this one yesterday.
You can feel the chill of the night moon, says Nick.
Yeah, cool. I'm glad.
That's what we're going for, so I'm happy you said that.
So here's some of the humor. Do you remember the dialogue, Pamela?
It wasn't.
Something about dancing?
Yeah. Again, I can't remember what
I put her on the spot. I'm sorry.
I think he says, like, excuse me, but I believe this is my dance.
Yeah, my next dance or something like that. She goes, oh,
May I
funny. It's like, oh, may I cut in? And then she goes, why don't you rumba with this buffoon or
He looks
something
more
like
your, he looks more your type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you dance with this guy?
And by the way, this guy could be you guys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, bring that up. This is fun.
Yeah, we have a tier. The page before this, we show him. So that's his first appearance. So it's 2 pages, 4 panels.
Let's just call him Gary the Orderly.
Yeah, Gary the Orderly. So we have a tier where you can have your appearance in the book. So you get to have your likeness. And this is the character that you guys would be.
What is it, punched by the hero or...
Is it get punched?
Oh, no, can you
take
take a
a
punch?
Yeah.
punch?
Can you
Yeah.
take a punch is the tier.
Yeah.
So this could be you.
It's a little expensive, but there will be a lot of redrawing and remastering. So the faces would all be your faces.
And
It's 2 pages.
And he has
Yeah.
a name tag there, so we could include your name as well.
Yeah, so we can get it in there, your likeness. One of the things we were playing with, and maybe if we do get somebody to pledge, you know what? I'll just make it right now. If we can get you guys to pledge, we'll make you an authentic Maltese. What is the hospital?
Maltese Mental Institution ID card.
ID card or ID badge in this same.
One of a kind collectible, you guys.
Yeah, we'll make you a card. So back that, and we'll draw you in, and we'll also make you up a
ID card.
ID badge. Yeah. So that'll be fun. And then, yeah, we got to write this down. You got to hold me to that. Hold me to that. So yeah, there's not a lot of remastering side by side, but all this background was totally redrawn. Here, it's nothing like the original. And this figure, with the exception of, I believe,
I think
maybe it's the upper body, but
almost all of it, though.
yeah, almost all of it was redrawn. So I started learning. So this is all drawn on another sheet of paper, and then I scanned it in, and then I kind of superimposed it over the existing. So this is where she says, you got yourself in, get yourself out. And so then this is the crap that she leaves.
It might look a little
Black with-
dark on the screen, you guys. I can't really tell.
Oh
otherwise,
yeah,
but
this right
it's,
here.
Yeah, we were filming the computer screen right now, so it looks a little darker than it does in reality.
Yeah, it's actually perfect in reality. And Pamela, as the art director or as our editor, said we might want to lighten that as well. So we might want to think about that again, especially how dark it's photographing or seemingly photographing. So yeah, so you can obviously see the alarm has been triggered. All the armed guards are coming out, and you can just kind of guess what's going to happen to poor Black. So we're starting to get down to our big reveal. So if there's any questions, let's get those in.
We have. Do you have any additional black and white storylines in the works?
Oh my gosh, yes. You want to tell them about that, Pamela, or am I putting you on the spot?
No, this one is such a passion to my heart. The ongoing series that we were working on is a story that is just, Art and I were coming into our stride, and this story is just awesome. It's about archaeology and secret voodoo, and it's just, there's so much in it. Zombies, and it's an awesome story. That would be the next storyline up from after the second IndieGoGo, right?
Right, that wraps up
Issue
yeah, it basically, the first issue is their origin, but it mainly focuses on Whitney. So a lot of the story is focused on her character and her development. And then the next story arc, the one that Pamela's referencing, and the one that the one of the chatters had written, yeah, is on Black. It'll focus on Black, on Reed Blackett.
And his backstory and his family lineage, and he's, well, I don't want to say, but he...
Yeah, don't say anything.
Yes, I won't. But I want to tell him.
Yeah.
Come on, let's get this one done. Let's move ahead.
Yeah. One thing at a time. Yeah, let's get this funded, and hopefully overfunded, because the overfunding will give us time to build more stories and to build more books for you guys.
Yeah, this first IndieGoGo is definitely very important to get us to a place where we have the time to do this stuff. Ultron would like to know, when is the next review and how do I submit? I don't know if you have an idea what the next review is, but I can tell him how to submit.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you check the link in the description after this, I'm going to be posting the link to a Mediafire, which is like a Dropbox account where you can drop your files, and that's where you would submit your stuff portfolio review. Please make sure that it's high res, like at least 300.
DPI, yeah.
Yeah, because Art has to... He scrutinizes the line work and stuff, especially if you're inking and you're sending stuff, so it's important that's high res so you can actually see it. And please include your name, and that will also be the same Dropbox where you can send any color work, any fan art, whatever you want us to see.
Yeah, and yeah, make sure that your name is in the description as well. So make sure it's in the artwork, and make sure that in the file name. You can't see this, but there's files on the top of Photoshop, and that's where we open most of the, your artwork in, and in Photoshop I can draw over your drawings and stuff like that. So if I can see your name in the file description, then I can give you credit for the work. And we have had some success with previewing people's work on the YouTube reviews channel, and they have gotten professional work out of it. So we also kind of give you a platform to show off. So yeah, send away. So Taylor, you want to lead on this? I hope I can find the next.
Yeah, these are the last two here.
No, I think there wasn't there. We scanned in that one page we were talking about.
Oh, that's right.
Where would I find that?
It should be here unless it's been closed. If not, I can grab the actual page.
Does any of these files look familiar?
No, I don't see the name. I named it actually what it was. It is on the desktop. I don't know if you want to open that in front of everybody.
What would be the downfall if I do that?
We'll be able to see all our file names and stuff. I can grab the actual physical page.
Can we just go to our icon for a minute, and then I can go over and grab it? Because it's kind of essential.
Don't, says the chat.
Yeah, I don't want to dox myself.
I can cover it real quick.
Okay, you know what we're gonna do?
Cool with that?
Yeah, we're gonna.
In front of it.
We're gonna hold up the black and white issue 1.
Yeah, here, wait. Hold it.
Here, I'll hold it. You grab it.
All right.
Okay, you guys can't see anything. There's white. There's black. This is the explosive first issue that will give justice a whole new meaning. Yes. So, this piece of artwork.
Keep it covered. I'm trying to find.
Yeah. Oh, it's covered. Oh. Oh, it's covered. Look at that. That is a man with a mission.
I just saved this, and for some reason.
That is a girl that's going to eat your face. And she's just a girl to eat your face. And that's all you'll ever let her be. All right, and there's the old logo. Black and white. TM. So don't try to steal this because we have it trademarked.
It's copywritten. We talked about it here.
All right. There's his tranquilizer dart gun. It actually fires shells. So the bullet itself is like a squib. It's kind of like a paint gun. So it actually has the impact of a shell, with the gunpowder and everything. So it fires just like a bullet, and they look like bullets. And I thought that was what would be cool is the squib or the paintball like thing that shoots out of the gun. Let me go back to the gun. When it hits you, it'll look like blood, but it'll absorb into your pores. Ta-da! Look what happened. Okay, so this is the page that we're saying is in issue 2. It's page 1. It is a splash page, and we will be giving this page away at $30K. But wait a minute. Wait. Are you guys waiting? You waiting for it? The big, huge reveal. So if this wasn't enough, right? And by the way, this is my wife Pamela's idea as well. So this will not be used in the remastered. As great, I love the splash page, but this will not be used in the remastered. And look, the lettering's still on the actual board. Like, that's how old this stuff is. Like, this is not digital. This is all on the board. This can be yours absolutely free. So we're using this as an inspiration to get to the 30K. The reason we keep saying 30K, because I mean, we want this thing to go on forever, and we want to sell as many books as we can. But the 30K is where Taylor and I are. We feel we can get the book into the best condition and the best shape possible for you guys. That will represent this new remastered version of the book the best. And it has, at this point, it has 6 pages of extra material, but it could have more. And if you guys ever tried to tell a comic book story, 6 pages is a lot of content.
It makes a huge difference.
It makes a huge difference. So you can see this is from Black and White 2, page 1. But let me see if I can find it. I don't know. I don't think we have the black and white version of it. This is the big, huge reveal. Okay, you guys ready? Drum roll. Do I have?
Waiting for the news.
Yes, here we go. Bum, bum, bum. This cover right here. This is the digital version, and it's all colored up and everything. It looks amazing. This is the variant cover at this point in the campaign. It was originally drawn by Greg Capullo in 1994. He was gracious enough to commit and help me out at the time, and he drew this wonderful pinup, and I inked it up at the time, and we used it as a pinup for issue 3, Pamela?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was issue 3, and it was a double-page pinup. All the image books had like these double-page pinups and stuff. It was really cool, like a centerfold in the book, and so that was the centerfold, and at the time it was really cool. But we came across this in the archives. I didn't think I had it anymore, but we came across this when Pamela was looking through the old black and white stuff, and she found this, and so we started talking about, like, what if I remastered this? What if we got all new color, and what if we use this as a variant cover? And so we all agreed. I went in, I remastered, I did a lot of hand ink. So the version that, the original version has a lot of hand ink reworking on it, but also digital. So a lot of this is digital as well. But here's the big reveal. That's the setup. Here's the reveal. This black and white version of this cover, I cannot believe that we're doing this. We're giving it away as well. We are giving away the original 11x17 Greg Capullo RT Bear line art for this cover. We're giving it away absolutely free at that 30K. So that's why 30K is so important. I've had this piece of artwork and the other one for 25 years. I have never sold anything for black and white. I gave away to a close friend issue 1's cover, but I have never ever made this stuff available or sold any of these pages. So for me to part with this after 25 years is a big deal for me. But it feels better to get this into the hands of a black and white, a true black and white fan at this point in my life than having it, stay in my archives for another 25 years. So we're using this. We have the stretch goals, so those stretch goals are still in place. So the next one is where, Taylor?
I believe our next stretch goal is the mini print at 35. Somebody actually asked that, or what was that?
25.
25, I'm sorry. somebody asked about all the stretch goals that we have met and all the ones that we still need. So I was just pulling up so we can read them right here. So
she's gonna refresh.
So what we have is we hit the 15K stretch goal, which was to get Pamela's signature on all the graphic novels.
Pamela! Pamela will be signing all the books.
At 18, we had the bookmark, and we've unlocked that. At 20K, we got the upgrade for the black and white book to be square-bound printed book. And then at 22, we have the Stick It to the Bot sticker, which we just unlocked.
That was a fun one. I'm glad we got there.
So our next one is the mini print at 25, and then we have the 30, which is the extend black and white to the page count that we want. And after that, we have a calendar. And so we're really trying to hit that 30 right now to get those extra pages. That's our like primary goal. And like Art said, in order to get back, you could own maybe one or two of two of you will get a piece of original art, including this cover.
Yeah,
right
so
here.
this will be the #1 winner, and then the runner-up. Let me see if I can find this without.
There it is.
Yeah, and then this will be the runner-up. So these are both choice pieces. They mean a lot. They mean a lot to both. The 1994 version and then the 2018 version. So this is a really big deal, guys. I hope you're gonna want these. I hope you are on board to help us get to that 30K, and we want to go beyond that 30K. So we don't want to stop there, but we just want to really inspire you guys and give something back to you guys for all the help.
And you can also get that variant cover in a tier as well. Let's see. Nick says, "I want you in the 6-figure young ladies club. You deserve it."
Oh my gosh!
That's awesome.
Yeah, if we did that, you guys, I'll give you another cover. I don't know. I'll do something else. Oh, you know what? Okay, I'll do this. Okay, you guys hold me to this. If we get the 6-figure club, I will give away absolutely free in a drawing. I will, if it doesn't sell though, because we do have it in a tier. If that cover does not sell, I will give away the remastered cover to you guys as well. If we can get to the 6-figure young ladies club, sweetie pie club.
We are so close right now to 24. It's not even funny.
How much?
We are at 23,937.
Oh my gosh, 37. If we could, okay, we're gonna hang until we get to that. You said 24?
Yeah, until we get to 24. So if 2 more people bought a book, we would be set, I think.
Or a higher tier, right? So if 2 people bought the 25 book, right? Or if we got like a larger
tier.
Yeah, a larger tier, then that would do it too, maybe.
Yeah, if somebody got the we have a bundle where you can get both covers, the new cover and the variant cover for 75, and you get the ash can as well. So if somebody bought one of those, we would be set right now.
Well, hey Taylor, explain what the ash can is all about.
The 16-page ash can is a bonus story. It was the preview of the story that was printed, and if you guys saw the video where we put together the puzzle, it's the story that was included there, and that is included in the tier. So you get 3 stories, and yeah, I'm trying to think of how else to sell this. I'm sorry, you guys.
No, it's great. It's great. So it's 16 pages, and it was the original 9. It was an extreme comic, and there were 9 issues. So there were 2 pages in each one of those 9 issues, and there was a puzzle in the back of those 9 issues too that made a giant black and white. They were like a puzzle, and you put them together, and it would make a giant image. So Rob Liefeld was gracious enough and nice enough to let us, Pamela and I, at the time in '94, preview black and white that way. So we're going to use that 16 pages in the original state for that ash can. So it's pretty cool, and there's a pretty killer shots of Whitney. It still seems like it mainly focuses on Whitney.
Yeah, it is about Reed in kind of more of a focused way, but it still follows Whitney, because I guess she's kind of discovering some things about his past in the story.
She's trying to help him out.
Yeah.
So the storyline or the subtext is about Reed, but she's trying to help him out and find out about his past.
It takes place after the volume 1 of the story that we're writing right now.
Yeah, so
it's series.
Yeah, so it is actually kind of a prequel to the Black and White code name. So the ongoing series. So if you think about the 16 pages, it actually it will work as a prelude to if hopefully there's another series. So if there's another series, this will be a prelude to that, and that's the story that Pamela was telling you about.
We got a question about the original art tier. Egbert asked for the Own a Page perk. Which pages can we choose from? We were gonna do a video showing some of those off, but basically I believe it's limited to 5 people, and they are all super action-oriented, main character-driven story pages. So everybody in that tier will get a page that's kind of higher tier as far as collectability.
And just know, this was going to be one of those pages that was going to be in that tier. So that'll give you an idea of the value of this page. Also, the majority of those pages will be splash pages. So the majority or all of them. So what those pages are going to be is they're going to be big splash pages. They're not going to be like small talking heads pages. So all those pages are going to be splash pages, or if they're multi-panel pages, they're probably going to be 1 to 2 panels. So they're going to be big major moments in the story and big splashy moments.
Yeah, these aren't just like talking head pages. P Money says if you show a pic of the 30K stretch goal pics on Twitter, I'll retweet it. We actually just posted a picture of these 2 pieces that are going to be in the giveaway, and if you they're in the update section of the campaign right now. We posted them, I think, right before we put up this video.
Can we, through the updates, can we just send an update through Twitter and Facebook?
We can share the update, yeah.
Yeah, maybe we'll just, thank you for suggesting that. We'll just, we'll send that actual link out through Twitter and Facebook and things.
So we'll be retweeting that on Art's Twitter if you follow him. And I think your Twitter's at ArtTBear.
Yeah, all my social media is all just my name. There's nothing fancy. There's no fancy handle. And you know what else? We should, Taylor, today, we should make an effort either to do a short YouTube, or we should scan, or both, those 5 pages so people can see. Because we meant to do that earlier, and now that somebody mentions it in the chat, I think it would be ideal, and this might be a good time to do it.
Yeah, we've been meaning to get those out to you guys so you can kind of see what you would get.
Yeah, these things are daunting. There's so many moving parts to these IndieGoGos, and trying to get the book done at the same time, that sometimes some of the details get missed. So we need to give the qualifier for this giveaway, though.
Yeah, we're doing this when we hit 30K.
And there's a deadline.
Yes, there is a deadline. So we need to hit 30K by Friday, the 19th. That's our
a week from tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a week from tomorrow. So we need to hit that in order to do this giveaway. So please spread the word. Tell your friends. Don't let them miss out on this book. If you are thinking about upgrading your book, please do so now within the time frame.
Yeah, so just to reiterate, we have, as a way to give back, and as like a thank you to you guys, and as a way to motivate us to get to that 30K. And like I said, I would love to be, six fingers. What is that from? Princess Bride. The six-fingered man. That's what I was thinking. The six-figure young, lovely lady club. I would love that. There's nothing that would give me more pleasure. And also, if we got to that point, I could almost guarantee, I could guarantee you that there's going to be way more product coming out from Taylor and I, along with Pamela. But, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was saying, Nick asked if you're going to go on the EVS show soon.
if he invites me, I'll be there. You know it, with bells.
Demand it, you guys, if you want art.
Demand it. Say more Artie Bear, more black and white. Yeah, inundate that guy.
Help us make this push to this 30K. We have till Friday the 19th.
Because it really is the squeaky wheel, guys. It really is the squeaky wheel. So the more noise we can make, the more excitement, the more energy we can generate, the better this book is going to do. And Pamela wants to add something.
And also with the whole squeaky wheel thing.
I'm old.
Well, true, but so am I.
Oh, yo.
If we don't make a stand with what we like by showing the big companies that we do want good stories, then we have no one to blame when we get the stories that we complain about.
Yeah, so back the stories and back the creators.
That are putting their future on the line to stand up and go, hey, I believe in good comics, good stories, good action, and get it out there.
I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take anymore.
Pamela's a smart lady, says Nick.
She is a smart lady.
I like Nick.
Did you hear that, Nick? I may have lost my my Pamela.
But yeah, we set a deadline for this.
We should do a giveaway or a stretch goal for Pamela. Pamela for a day. You guys can see how amazing my life is with this lady in it.
I'll just cook for him. You just like my cooking.
Yeah.
My spaghetti.
Well, keep rubbing my shoulders. Yeah. Yeah, baby. Uh-huh. You guys can't see it, but she's rubbing my shoulders. You don't have to stop. Taylor's like, get a room. but yeah. Anyway, it's getting weird in here. Is there a deadline?
So Friday, 30K by Friday. We set it there for a particular reason because we really need to also start working on these pages, these extra pages, and that will give us some wiggle room. So if we can make it by then, we can start making it happen by actually working on them, because we are working on this book as we speak.
She's talking about the extra pages that we'll be able to add at that 30K stretch goal.
Yeah, so we want to have time to actually work on them as well.
Do you realize we're stretch goaling the stretch goal here? We're incentivizing a stretch goal. Oh my gosh, we are the best. Where's that pat on the back, Pamela?
It's stretch goal inception.
It's a stretch goal within a stretch goal within a stretch goal.
We planned on going for an hour, and we've already exceeded 2. So thank you for sticking with us, by the way, you guys.
Yeah, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. We'll wrap this up, but here's the cover. We'll be showing the black and white one is on in the update, and we will tweet this out as well.
Yeah, we'll tweet that out next, and we will show you those pages that you can get in the original art tier ASAP, probably right after this video.
Yes, as soon as we close this. And so here is it's a little we could have darkened it up a little bit. Maybe I can. Wait, hold on.
Yeah, just those levels
let's adjust
live.
These levels. You guys are getting adjusted levels. Okay, here. Ooh, watch it come to life. Look at that. Yeah, baby. Look at that. Oh my gosh.
That could be yours, you guys.
This could be yours.
For nothing other than spreading the word and getting your friends to buy a great book.
Yeah, spread the word. My brothers, my sisters, get out there. As Doug TenNapel would say, more cheddar, it is better. So maybe that's me saying that. He would just say cheddar, share the cheddar or something.
Trademark.
So I brought in the better part because this is way better than Bigfoot Bill.
Whoa! Oh my gosh, our stream, everybody's leaving.
It's Bigfoot Blackett. He's got the Bigfoot coming right at you. All right, guys. Well, thanks again. As always, Taylor's going to plug our outro.
Yes. Okay, so make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. Liking this video helps out our channel and helps boost our views because we are trying to get as many eyes on this as possible. Tell a friend if you haven't backed Black and White already. Please do so. Don't wait. We are trying to reach that 30K goal by Friday so we can give you guys that drawing. And we are really close to 24. I'm hoping that we can hit that by the end of the night. Don't let your buddies miss out.
24. I'm thinking the next couple minutes. What did you say? We're like 2 books away from 24.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we're so close.
Get 2 of your friends to buy 2 books.
Yes, please. And also, it's Friday, but it's not this Friday. It's
Next
a week
Friday.
from this Friday.
The 19th.
Yeah, the 19th.
Mark your calendars. That's when we have to get to 30K.
Yes.
The campaign itself ends in 10 days. So we got a rally right now. This is the important time. And this channel is not monetized. So we do have a donation button if you want to give us a tip for our work. I hope we've been entertaining you. You can submit your color work, your fan art, anything for portfolio view in the Dropbox. And don't forget to support Black and White Remastered.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Have a great evening, and thanks for sticking around.